Let me get the music going. Music. Music. Playing. All right. I'm telling you, streaming software gets a little weird sometimes. How's it going, everybody? Nice to see ya. I see we got Dr. Thunder, we got Adam, we got Franco. Thanks for coming out to my live stream. How's everybody's day going? Hope you guys are super awesome. And yeah, if you guys got some game questions, feel free to ask. We are here to answer your questions. Mortis, what's up? How are you? Mike? Panic? Nice to see you guys. Thank you for coming out. I definitely appreciate it a lot. Yeah, I'm having a lot of weird computer issues today. Really not weird computer issues, but I think the HDMI port on my graphics card is having some issues. Alright, so we'll put on some pre-recorded gameplay so you guys got something to look at. But yeah, I'm having a hard time getting one of my monitors to turn on now. So I switched cables. That didn't fix it. I think the HDMI port's messed up. Kinda sucks. Alright, so what are the best light weapons for a free-to-play player to get? Well, the best ones that you can easily get are the Punisher, and the Punishers are really good. I made a video about that a couple days ago, maybe a week or two ago. They do have a 10-second reload time, so that kind of sucks, but they do really nice damage. They're cheap to buy, they're cheap to upgrade, and they work wonders until you can get something better. So honestly, you cannot go wrong with the Punishers as free-to-play or starter weapons. I mean, eventually you're going to want to replace those, you know, but... if you want to build something in the workshop, I mean, there's a couple of really good choices. Like, the cudgel type of shotguns are super good. The radiation weapons are really good. Quarkers. Quarkers are nice choices. Those are three of my favorites that you can build. Spooky, what's up, buddy? Nice to see ya. Panic said, did Pixonic host a new giveaway? I don't know, man. I don't really pay attention to when Pixonic's actually doing giveaways, so I don't know if they've got any type of giveaways running at the moment or not. Oh yeah, magnetars are amazing if you can build them in the workshop. You cannot go wrong with magnetars. Good call, Mortis. Alright, so I cannot do giveaways when I want to. So anytime I have a giveaway, I don't get to really choose what it is. You know, Pixonic says, hey, you're going to do a giveaway. This is what you're giving out. And that's what I get to do, so. What's up, Riddick? What's up, Just for Fun? Nice to see you guys. Alright, Adam says, I just want to make a good Kefri, and I have everything I need. Gold, silver. I only thing is missing are the weapons. It's kind of hard to play, but flamethrowers are really good on a Kefri. They're hard to aim, though. I mean, Kefri is sort of a tanky robot, so just about any weapon you throw on there is probably going to work pretty well. Can I do a squad with Manny and Predator? That would be kind of fun, actually. I'm not really sure if any of those guys would be up for collaboration or not, but that would be kind of a cool deal. What's up, Jake? How's it going? Missy Scott, nice to see ya. Well, you know, so here's the deal with Shredders. Franco, Shredders are really nice, but Magnetars are still better. Now, as far as I know, when they upgraded the Shredders, all they did was fix the shot grouping, but Magnetars seem to outperform the Shredder in almost every way. Frixos, how you doing? He says, what weapons are better for Nether? Spear or claws? I would say, personally, I would go with the spears over the claws. Claws not really that great anymore, so I don't think I would go with the claws. The claws are just kind of so-so in my opinion. Let me turn the music down a little bit. It might be a little bit too loud. But the thing with the claws, the claw jaw talon weapons were at one time amazing. Now they're just kind of so-so. It takes too long to unload the clip on those, so it feels like they just shoot and shoot and shoot and shoot, and eventually, you know, you finally go through all the ammo, but I don't really like those anymore. Red October says, Cudgel or Magnetar on Kefri are awesome. I agree. You can't go wrong with either one. Now, the one thing nice about the Quarkers at point blank, you never, ever, ever have to worry about reloading. Now, at a distance, of course, you do. But if you're like 50 meters from somebody, 20 meters from someone, you never have to reload these weapons or let them cool down. WRN is asking for giveaway results. Which giveaway? I think the only one that the results haven't been posted for are the one that's still going, so. But yeah, most of the giveaways, all the results should have been posted by now, except for the one that's going currently. And that one ends on Thursday. Wednesday night, I think. Wednesday night, I have to turn those in before I go to bed. So that giveaway has still got a few more days left. All right. Yeah. I was just going to say something and I totally forgot. Missy Scott could not figure out the Discord. Discord is kind of complicated, but you should probably try and figure it out because Discord is actually an awesome thing to have. I would definitely say try to figure it out. You almost need Discord to tell you the truth. I mean, for war robots, that's kind of the main thing that everybody uses to communicate. So, especially if you're in a clan, Discord's kind of where it's at. Jake the mate, how you doing today, buddy? Nice to see ya. Chat's kind of, oh, I don't have it on live chat. I might be missing some comments. Let me read through this again. Okay. So yeah, if you guys got some questions, get them in here. Chat looks a little slow today. So all the stuff that recently got buffed, what do you guys like best so far? I've definitely been enjoying my Revenant. The Revenant's a lot of fun. Mitos, how's it going? Of course, the radiation weapons are pretty good. What I really wish they would do is take a lot of the older stuff and restore it back to its original, like the way it used to be. Because most all the older stuff has been downgraded or nerfed. Like, I would love to see them take the Aljune and, you know, the Leech and some other things and put it back to its original form where it would still be pretty viable. That would be nice if we could get them to do that. Okay, so Ash just said, is the Nether still good today? Sort of. It's not the greatest robot right now, but if you're really, really good at playing it, it can do okay. I find the Nether is a hard robot to play, but if you take the time to really learn that robot and master it, it will do pretty good, but I think there are better choices out there. Red says, that won't happen. They want you to get the ultimate. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if they're going to make an ultimate version of everything. I mean, it kind of looks that way, huh? Some people think they're about to be making a, what do you call it? Ultimate, Phantom. I don't know if that's true or not, but if they do make an ultimate Phantom, that would actually be really cool. Like, I would be all about driving an ultimate Phantom around, but I don't have ultimate anything on my account. Red says, what do you think about the... Oh, what do you think will be the new meta besides the Curry? You know, Curry, buddy. The Curry. Now, the little Shin-Lo robot, I'm not 100% sure if that's going to be meta or not. It's really fun to play. It's really fun to play, and I like it, but I don't know. I'm not so sure about it, though. I feel like people aren't going to really want to play that. It bounces all over the place, but it's really easy to kill. It's fun. I enjoy it, but Even me, I kind of feel like taking that thing out of my hanger already. Like, it was really cool for the first couple of days, but I don't know. They might buff it eventually. I'm not really sure. Alright, so Ash just says Eiffel or Newton. Newton's getting some sort of a buff coming. I mean, a nerf coming up pretty soon. As far as I know, Eiffel's not. So right now, I think the Eiffel is going to be the better way to go. Yeah, in my opinion, I like the Eiffel. It's way more fun. I mean, Newton technically right now is still the better Titan if you have the Fulgur and Tonin weapons on it, but it's a lot more boring to play than any other robot. I'm not a fan of the Newton, honestly. It doesn't really take much skill to pick somebody up from 800 meters away and shoot them. You know what I mean? But it is getting nerfed. We don't really know how good it's going to be after the nerf, but it'll probably be a little while before they nerf the Eiffel. You know, if Rook wasn't getting nerfed, I would still say go for the Rook. I mean, Luchador is really good. Minos is really good. There's still quite a few Titans that are really good. Alright, so Exodus. I don't think the Exodus are wonderful weapons. They're okay. I think Lynx is a very good robot. It's very fun to play, but I would pick something other than Exodus for mine. I would much rather have some Redeemers on there or pretty much anything than Exodus. What's the reload time on the Exodus right now? I don't remember, but I'm pretty sure that's got a little bit longer of a reload, so I don't think they're the right weapons for him. They would definitely work, but not my thing. Mech, what's up, buddy? Can I check your question? Oh, now I see it. Mech, I'm going to say yes. I mean, you should be able to get up over top of that new Titan and shoot down on it. Now, it's going to depend on the live server how tall that shield is. We don't know how tall the shield's going to be, so probably. Because, I mean, we can see what it's like on the test server, but when it goes live, it could have a much taller or it could have a shorter shield. We just don't really know, but that's definitely something that might work. If you can get beside it, behind it, or above it, there's a pretty good chance you're still going to be able to obliterate it. But if you do remember, once you're up in the air and you're above something, there's like a certain angle to where you can still target it. But if you get too close to something, you lose your target. I don't know if it's a 45-degree angle or what, but if the shield ends up being too tall, you might have to get too close before it loses the target. So it really just depends on how tall that shield ends up. I think that new Titan's going to be really fun to play when it comes out, though. It looks really awesome to me. I don't know about you guys, but I like the looks of it. It just looks really fun. Did anybody try that on the test server? I'm not really so sure about it, but I mean, it is a test server, so it might be way better or way worse when it finally goes live. We just don't know. Panic says, is the game actually dying? No, I don't think the game's dying. I think there's I think there's a lot less players in Champion League than we used to have, but I still think there's like a load of people down in the lower leagues and new players coming in and stuff like that. So I don't think the game's dying. I think this game's going to be around for a long time. Alright, Missy Scott says, Daniel, what robot should I switch with Cruel Orochi? So you want to take your Orochi out and put something else in? I don't know what you have, Missy Scott. What are your choices there? So yeah, I need to know your choices, and then I can kind of give you an idea of what would be the better robot. Max says, do you think Aether will be a good pick now? Aether will be great if Newton can't destroy you in the air with one shot. That's the problem with the Aether. Aether's still really good, but Newton makes it not playable. Missy says, I have a bunch of different ones. All right, well, it's hard to tell you. I mean, there's probably 100 robots in the game. So, I mean, if you got Invader, if you got a Lynx, if you got a Fenrir, if you have a Ravena, a Curry, an Ochikochi. I mean, there's so many robots. And yeah, I mean, I don't know which ones are the good ones you have. Are you not liking your Orochi? I haven't actually played it since they buffed it, though. I'm guessing the buff probably didn't do that much, but you never know. Fallen says, Danny, do you enjoy playing War Robots? Yeah, I like playing this game most of the time. I have a good time. I mean, the game's not perfect, and there are some things I would love to see change that could make the game better, but it's a fun game. Yeah, Missy, you gotta play the Orochi really, really carefully. It's one of those robots that you gotta walk on eggshells with it. It's not easy to play at all. But I think the little bit of a buff they gave it probably isn't enough to make it relevant, but it's definitely something. It's better than it was. Panic says, are you glad about the Newton nerf? Well, yeah, but I think they should have made it so it doesn't have an 800 meter range. I don't think they're nerfing the range on it, and that kind of sucks. I think it needs a major range nerf because nothing should be able to pick you up from 800 meters away. I mean, the Newton itself isn't really that powerful. The problem is 800 meters, right? Even if they nerf the crap out of the Newton and it's still got an 800 meter range, let's just say there's 4 of them on the battlefield. The second one puts you down, the next one picks you up. When he puts you down, the next one picks you up. That's not cool. That really messes everything up, in my opinion. So I don't know. I mean, we'll see what happens. That's all I can say. I don't like the fact that it's got way too much gosh darn range. I think if they nerf the range, it would be way, 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 way better. But I think they should take that thing's ability away completely. Ash just says, what's a good drone for the curry? The Pascal or the Hiroko? I think either one would be a really good choice. Which one's better? I think that's really going to boil down to which one you like better. I think on mine, I'm currently running the Shy Drone. And Shy Drone works really well. Pascal works really well. Hiroko works very well. Kestrel can be pretty good on there. And the Armadillo can be pretty good on there as well. So there's actually quite a few different drones that work well on him. But yeah, Hiroko is kind of a cool deal. I mean, if you got that one, give it a try. I think you would like any of those choices, honestly. Now, I think there's like some robots where there may be one drone that like fits them better than all the others, but I think on Courier there's definitely several different drones that work well with him. But I mean, the Pascal was kind of designed for the Courier, so you do get some benefits of running the Pascal with the Courier, but it really is just going to be 100% personal preference on that one. I think if you're running the Hiroko along with something like a Trixie Hope where you can use it more often, that gets pretty crazy. Panic says, dang, I didn't know you was part of the RH clan. You know, like we started RH about, I don't know, it feels like it's about a year ago. It started off as like a group of like 5 friends. I don't think we ever really intended for it to become a real clan, but it turned into a real clan because there was like 4 or 5 of us. We would just get in, you know, we would just get in there, hang out with our friends, play a little bit. And then we slowly got a couple more members and a couple more members. And one day it was just like, bam, we're actually a real clan now. So it's a pretty interesting way that happened, honestly. But it's kind of funny though. Like I think we've got a full clan of like almost 50 people in there, and there's a lot of those guys. I wish some of those guys would come like squad, and nobody ever gets on voice comms. Well, I mean, everybody's on voice comms. Some people are on voice comms. Like some of the guys we never hear from is what I'm trying to say. So probably like, I would say like 75% of the members don't come to voice chat or squad or whatever. Then there's probably like 25% of the members that are on voice chat every day playing together, which is pretty cool. White boy, what's up? What's up? Nice to see ya. How's your day going? Missy Scott, I said, I wish the Cruella Rochi didn't die so fast. I do like it. Yeah, you know, Orochis do die very fast. It's a really good robot to go grab a beacon or something quickly because you can move across the map really fast and get where you need to go. Andrew says, how do you do voice comms? Most of our robots clans will use something called Discord. It's like a chat and messaging type of app. I think it was originally designed for gaming. White boy says, not the best, but making it. Well, whatever's going on, man, if something's crappy, I hope it gets better. Alright, so Ashes says, what's the best attack mothership? I think the Keel is a really good attack ship. I know the mute is about to get nerfed, so I'm not 100% sure. Like right now, though, the mute is ridiculous, but it's getting changed. It's still probably going to be ridiculous after they change it, but yeah, the mute's pretty crazy. That's probably one of the best motherships in the game right now. It's horrible to get hit with that thing and be blinded for like what feels like 3 minutes sometimes. Jake says, Danny, is Gothic Fainter or Spirit Razor better on the Mars? So Fainters aren't really that great anymore. They do nice damage, but there's two problems with the Fainters. Number one, the reload time is really long. And number two, it seems to run out of ammo very quickly. So I would rather play the Razdors personally. I like the Razdors way better personally. Now, Razdor may not be like the greatest choice for the Mars, but you know what? It'll definitely work. It'll definitely work. Panic says Lynx equals mobility scooter. White Boy says it always gets better if you want it to or if you make it better. Hey man, if it's something you can make better, then awesome. I would say go for it. Do it to it. Do it to it. Do it to it. Let me make sure I didn't miss any questions here. Mito says it should be 350. I'm guessing you're talking about the Newton. I agree. 350 would be way better. Alright, in my opinion, what's the worst change in the new balance updates? I don't know. There's a lot of stuff being changed. And until you really play it, it's hard to say because something may look one way on paper, and then when you actually try it, it may be a little bit different. I mean, there's a few things on there that look bad that make me think, man, this is going to suck if they do this to that, but without playing it for sure after the changes, it's a little bit hard to know. But it'll be interesting to see what happens to the Ophion and the Ochikochi after they nerf them. I think they're nerfing the Rook in a way that makes me wonder if that thing... Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that I'm wondering about. It's like, some of this stuff, I just don't know if it's going to be good after they change it. There's a few things that I'm a little bit worried that might actually die after the upgrade, but then again, they might not, because there's been times where they've changed something. I'm like, oh, this is going to make it horrible. And then they changed it and you played it and you're like, oh, okay, that's not so bad. So we can only really kind of guess or speculate at this point. Kron says there's a few pointless buffs. Hey, buffs are always good, my man. Buffs are always good. I like buffs. Even if it's pointless, hey, if something gets made better, at least it's a little better, right? Alright, let me hold on a second. Let me look at the list of nerfs and buffs really quickly and see what looks terrible. Alright, so... Oh, no, that's not the... Never mind. That's the wrong list of nerf and buffs. That's the list of ones that already happened. I just know there's like a million things on the new list, and it's kind of crazy. Panic says the Ophion is finished. It might be. It might be. I know they're going to make so it doesn't fly as long. They already took away a lot of the ability damage and stuff. Now it's only going to fly for like half of the time or something like that. That's definitely going to make him a lot harder to play, I would say. Like, how much harder to play? I don't know for sure, but it's going to be different. Edward said they're trolling us with the buffs. I don't know. I don't think getting buffed is trolling you. I'm very happy for anything to get buffed, even if it's not a very good item. Give me the buffs. I will take it. I will take it. I will take it. White Boy says you always got to have a good head on your shoulders. If not, it makes things worse. That's true. That is very true. Alright, so Doug, what's up? He says, I want to ask, is Mender plus Razdor and Cremola good? It would be okay. I don't really think those would be the best weapons for the Mender, but they would definitely work if you needed them to. Oh man. My mute button doesn't work anymore, does it? I'm sorry. I thought I muted it before I made those sinus noises. I tried to mute that so you guys didn't have to hear that, but it didn't work. Sorry, my sinuses are all flared up today. Oh man. Mito says, I like big... He likes big butts and he can't deny. I like big butts and I cannot lie. All your brothers can't deny. When a robot walks in with itty bitty waist and a big buff in your face, you get sprung. Alright. There we go. We're singing some Sir Mix-a-Lot over there. I actually did that song at karaoke once. It was pretty funny. It goes too fast, though. I can't read fast enough. It was hard to keep up. I sucked at it. Panic says, Pixo loves the Heimdall. Why do you think that? White Boy says, sing that song, White Boy. Oh, man. You guys are funny. Ah, I hit the microphone. Sorry about that. I'm tired today. Crazy thing is, you know, I got a lot of sleep and I'm still like really tired. I'm like halfway falling asleep. I'll tell you what sucks though is my chair, right? I looked down the other day. I'm sitting there making a video and I look down. Now I got a chair with a mesh seat. I see the mesh is starting to pull out and the staples are coming out. So the mesh seat's coming undone from my chair, guys. So I had to buy a new chair and that sucks. I was like, man, I'm lucky I didn't like fall through the chair. That would have been awful. Now, the chair I've been sitting in for the last couple of years, I mean, you guys probably see it every day on my videos. But I got that chair for like 60 bucks. It was either 60 bucks or 80 bucks. And it was on some sort of closeout because they discontinued the model because of the problem with the mesh coming out. And I was like, you know, I'm going to go ahead and just buy this thing for $60 and take my chances. And I've probably been sitting in that chair for 3 or 4 years. So I guess I got my $60 or $80 worth, right? Still sucks to have to buy a new chair. Panic says, do you see the ultimates getting nerfed? Alright, so this is my honest opinion on this. Nothing is safe from being nerfed, not even the ultimate stuff, but I don't think there's enough people who currently have the ultimate stuff and run it for it to get nerfed. I don't think they're going to nerf the ultimate stuff, but it very well could happen. I don't think so, but I would not be surprised if it did someday. Hopefully that makes sense. Alright, so C-R-A-I-A, Kreia? Am I saying that right? Kreia? He says, what if I have a Myrmidon with Gargantua? Alright, so here's the problem with the Myrmidons is just about everything shoots it out of the sky these days. Myrmidon is kind of cool and all, but when he goes to land, he loses his stealth and pretty much everybody can just shoot at it. That causes a lot of issues, unfortunately. Like, you die pretty easily. Now, the Gargantua weapons are pretty interesting. They're not one of my top choices at the moment. When those weapons really shine, if you can shoot a group of people. If you can shoot like a group of 4 or 5 guys, and you can shoot them all at once. And that's a lot of damage, and that's a lot of healing. But if you're shooting just 1 or 2 people with those weapons, they only kind of do so-so. I mean, I was playing those the other day on my Nodens. And I did end up taking them off and changing them for some other weapons after a day or two because, I don't know, they're okay. I mean, if it's all you got, it's definitely going to work. But the problem with the Myrmids is there's a lot of things that will shoot it out of the sky these days. It's not extremely durable. Its ability is very strong, but when it goes to land and it loses the stealth, the Newtons will zap it and kill it with 1 shot, or it's hard to keep the Myrmids alive. Panic says, the day they nerf the Ravener or the Fenrir is the day I leave. I hope they never nerf the Fenrir or the Ravener. You never know what they're going to do, but I agree. I hope they never change either one of those. Andrew says, has anybody ever seen Beekeeper? It's a fun movie. Never heard of it, actually. Is that a horror movie? I don't know why, but it sounds like a horror movie. I just have a weird feeling that's a horror movie. White Boy says, I heard they did. You heard they did what? I don't think the Fenrir has ever been nerfed. Not that I know of. I mean, they did nerf the Ravena, but I really don't think the Fenrir has ever been nerfed. I'm trying to remember. I mean, I've had the Fenrir pretty much since it first came out. And there was a while there where it really wasn't very good. I think the Fenrir kind of sucked for a while. I don't know. I don't think it's been changed. Does anybody know for sure if they've ever changed the Fenrir? Because, yeah, I don't think it's ever been changed. I do worry that someday they're going to nerf him, though. Really, it's really not the Fenrir that makes the Fenrir good. It's the Bernadette Wolf pilot. Like, if you take the Bernadette Wolf off of the Fenrir, it kind of sucks. Panic says, I'm bringing out my ultimate Fenrir when they get rid of the nerf effect. Rust effect. Yeah, the rust effect sucks. It really does. That messes up so many things. I hate rust. I am not a big fan of the rust. I will tell you that right now. It shouldn't make so you can't heal at all. Like, the old rust weapons were good, but these new ones are just so overpowered. It's unreal. I don't like the new ones. I really don't. I mean, I like them, but I don't like being shot with them because it's a little bit too much. It's actually like a lot too much. I don't think there's anything that should basically make so you can't heal at all, and that's pretty much what they do, is make so you're not able to heal. And that's pretty messed up if you ask me. I mean, it's just crazy. The way they set some of these things up is crazy. I don't know why they do it, but they do it. But it's pretty... When you actually hope something gets nerfed, that means you know it's a little bit too much and too overpowered. Because generally, we don't like when things get nerfed. But man, when something's that unbelievably strong, you almost have to nerf the darn thing. You know what I'm saying? They're just way too darn strong. But it is what it is, I guess. It is what it is. But yeah, I mean, eventually they will nerf it, so at least there's that, right? At least we know they're going to nerf it one of these days. It might be a while, but it will get nerfed. Panic says they probably introduced it to Rust to counter the Titans. Maybe, but that thing just like destroys all the regular robots to where there's not a lot of things you can actually play right now because of that Rust effect. It's way too much. It's way too strong. It's way too crazy. That's how I see it. Kron says, once the Tonans get nerfed, the Myramids and the Aether might have a chance again. That's very true. I mean, I don't know about the Mirror because he's even before the Newton and all the Fulgur and Tonans or whatever. Mirror was still kind of subpar. Now, one thing about Mirror though, it's actually a really good counter to something like the Rook, because in a Mirror if you would wait till a Rook jumped at you, you would wait for the Rook to get close, and then you could just go up in the air and it would just shoot all those rockets and stuff down into his shield, and it would kill him. But everybody else would always shoot the Mirror out of the air, so there's just a lot of craziness that goes on in this game, honestly. Edward says, I'm kind of immune to the Pix nerf cycle. Yeah, I mean, I've been playing the game for so long. I am so used to things being nerfed and buffed. I mean, it doesn't really faze me that much anymore, but I guess it really depends on what they're nerfing. And I don't mind when they nerf things if they truly balance it. I mean, sometimes they nerf something and afterwards it's actually balanced. And it's like, oh, they did a really good job on nerfing this. But occasionally, like, they do something like the Fainters or the Hell Scotty type of weapons where you can barely even play them at all after the nerf. I mean, sometimes they hit them so hard, those things are unplayable. So if they truly balance it, I mean, look how many times they've nerfed the Kepri and it's still pretty good, right? Kepri is still very playable, and it's probably had 5 or 6 nerfs. I mean, Ravana is one of those robots that's been good for years and years and years. The only reason I think more people don't play the Ravana is it's more of a skill bot. It's a very hard robot to play and do well with. But if you get good with the Ravana, it's a beast. That robot is a freaking beast. But not everybody can play it is the problem. Red says, I wish they'd leave the Fulgurs. They aren't that OP. The only problem I have with them is 800 meter range, right? Personally, I don't think they should really nerf those as far as the damage goes or anything. I think they should just remove the range and that's all those need. Nothing should have 800 meters in my opinion. And if it does though, if there is something with 800 meters, it shouldn't be that strong. So I mean, I guess I agree if they're going to leave the range, they need to nerf it. So Red, you think the Fulgurs are necessary to combat the Rook? I disagree. I don't think they're that great for taking out Rooks unless you break the shield first. You want to find a weapon that breaks the shield. So right now, if you think about the Newton, it's got that little projectile it fires. That'll bust the shield, and then you can zap the Rook with those weapons. But just like the Tonans and Fulgurs, as far as I can tell, they're not very good for busting shields. But if you bust the shield and then zap it, that does some damage right there. Panic says, I wish Pix could connect and be more transparent with the community and creators. More transparent about what? What would you like to see them be more transparent about? Because normally they tell us everything they're going to do. The thing is, most of the players just don't like it. Most of the players don't like what they decide to do, but they do tell us about it. So I think they're transparent most of the time. I mean, there have been a few times where they said, hey, we're going to do this or we're not going to do this. And then they did the opposite. But most of the time, they do let us know their plans. Andrew says everybody needs to boycott the new teleport bot. It's really not that great, Andrew. It's a fun little robot. It's pretty good. It can teleport all over the place, but it dies very easy, right? I think once people get used to seeing that on the field, it's going to die like crazy. And I don't think there's going to be that many people playing that new robot. I don't think that new robot's going to be like the big meta thing. I think Curry is going to pretty much take over right now. And the new lightning weapons, I mean, that 100-meter range is so short, they're not really worth playing on most robots, right? I mean, if you can put them on like a Revenant where you can teleport to somebody, that works. If you can put them on the Scorpion or the Shenlao, they're pretty good, but I've tried those new weapons on quite a few things, and I'm going to tell you what, there's hardly any robots I would actually run those on. But I don't think Shenlao is that good unless, like, it is, but it's not. Like, if I'm going up against a bunch of players that have, like, really, really, really good stuff, my Shenlao gets stomped on. Now, if I go up against a bunch of randoms that have subpar stuff and they're not leveled up very much, that's a little bit of a different story. So, I think it just depends on how leveled the other team is as to how well the Shenlao does. If that makes any sense. Like the first couple of days I get the Shenlao, I thought this thing is a monster. It's going to destroy everything. And it does on some games, but on other games it just gets taken out pretty much right then and there. So it's hit and miss. It's definitely hit and miss how well that robot does. I like it, but I don't love it, put it that way. I actually think I took it out of my hanger because I'm already kind of bored of playing it. So I don't think that's going to be the next big thing. Kron says the new weapons on the Dagon. Yeah, I mean, I haven't actually tried that. I guess if you get close enough. Dagon's really easy to kill, though, if you get inside of its shield, or take its shield down, I should say. I actually think that would be hard to play on the Dagon. I might be wrong, but I don't think that would be easy to play. What's up, Mr. MD? How you doing today, buddy? Nice to see ya. Mex says, have you tried the electro weapons in Extermination? I feel like I did. I'm pretty sure I did, and it was kind of crazy. I don't remember what robot I had them on, but... Oh, you know what robot might be insane with the new lightning weapons? Is the Angler. I never thought about that, but... those would probably be really good on the Angler. I might have to try that out. I'm thinking about doing a video, you know, just explaining how good those weapons actually are, how hard they are to use and stuff. I think that's going to be tomorrow's video, honestly. Did the interface change? What do you mean? What interface, my friend? I'm not sure what you're referring to exactly. Oh, this here? Yeah, this is old gameplay. On the Q&A things, I'm focusing on reading the chat, so I just get some old gameplay footage and throw that up there. I got like 5 or 6 old, like 2 hour, let's see, 2, 4, 6, 8. I got about 8 or 10 hours worth of game footage. So I just let that play. I should record some new game footage, but I've been too lazy. Edward says the Shenlao is an ugly bot. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder, my friend. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Mex says, I feel like the electro weapons would be really good in extermination to clear out all the little spiders. I mean, yeah, they're pretty decent. They would definitely clear out a bunch of spiders at once. Only problem is there are some of those spiders that hang way out in the back somewhere. You would have to run right up to those to be able to get them, because, I mean, the 100-meter range isn't much. So that would be a little bit of a pain in the butt. Dr. Rash's man's a sweet water drop? Huh? I don't follow. I don't follow! Alright, I gotta yawn again. What's up, Tab? How you doing today? Nice to see ya. I got the yawns, you know. I got plenty of sleep last night, but I don't feel like it. I don't feel like it. Tab says, I want to know if the subduers have been given out. So, are you talking about... Wait, which subduers, my friend? Everybody... The subduers I gave away were with gift codes, so... All the gift codes for the subduers are already gone, if that's what you're asking. So yes, those have all been used up. He says, no, I wanted one. Unfortunately, it's not easy to win those giveaways. Andrew says, subduers have not been nerfed, so they're now the best heavy weapon. Yeah, they haven't been nerfed yet, but, you know, of course they will be at one of these. One of these days, they are going to nerf those. Now, when they're going to nerf those, I don't know. But we know it's going to happen. Alright, so Tab, there were 50 codes. Each code was good for one weapon, and all 50 codes have been used. Max said, did I figure out the answer? No, I haven't. Here, let me look up the balance changes. Let me get on Discord. I haven't figured out crap because I'm too lazy to pull up the Discord. Let me look at it. It's a huge list, so. Alright, here we go. Game news. Where's game news at? Game news. There we go. Let me find... Well, what's all this? Oh, wow. Okay, hold on a minute. Oh, looks like there was some sort of contest or something Pixonic was doing that I didn't know about. How did I miss that? Alright, here we go. Here's the list. So I think the Ochikochi might kind of be dying off. The Ophian might be dying off. Both of those are probably going to hit those robots really hard. The Rook... I'm not so sure how that's going to affect the Rook. I don't think that's going to be that bad on the Rook. So the Rook, they're going to do... It says casting damage minus 15%. And the suppression is going to be 60 instead of 75. Great damage reduction 25 instead of 35. That's not going to be that bad on the Rook. I think Rook is still going to be good. I don't know. I think the Ophian's probably going to be the thing that takes it the worst. Tab says, say yay backwards. I just did. I just did. Oh, wait. Dr. Rash said he can read the future? Really? I don't think they're going to nerf the Shenlao. I don't think it's good enough to get nerfed. I don't think the Shenlao is good enough for them to nerf it, honestly. That's going to be one of those robots that... Now, I'm actually thinking they might end up buffing it and making it better because nobody's really playing it, I've noticed. Edward says, I told you Pix hates flying bots. So one thing, if you guys haven't noticed, Edward's kind of right. Anytime there's a flying bot, those normally end up taking bigger nerfs than anything else. I don't know why, but if it flies, it normally gets nerfed into nothing. Why they do that to the flying bots, I'm not really sure. So Dr. Rash, I have a feeling that even when people get Shenlao, I think the majority of the people aren't going to like it. I don't think we're going to see Shenlaos all over the place because I don't think people are going to like that robot. I might be wrong. I just don't think it's going to really be a big hit. I don't know. Richie Rich says Ocho players are real careful now and less squatted, if that's a word. Yeah, the Ocho is going to get hit pretty hard, I think, when they nerf it. It's probably going to be somewhat easy to kill after the nerf. I mean, we don't really know for sure, but I don't think it's going to be like the horrible terror that you can't kill anymore. I think the Ocho is still going to be good, but it's not going to be a monster anymore. At least that's how I'm hoping it turns out. Alright, so MD says he would love it if he had the Shenlao. Maybe. You never know. I mean, you would have to really play it and get to know the robot to figure it out. It's really fun, but I don't think it's as good as we all expected. I thought it was going to be a lot better than it is currently. I really enjoy playing it. I really like it, but I don't know. I'm just not sure. There's just so many times where I drop a Shenlao out in, I teleport to somebody, and it gets wrecked right then and there. Oh man, somebody's here with a name that I'm trying to figure out how to say that. Wow. Kaustaba? Man, I'm sorry. I'm probably pronouncing that wrong, but I currently have no way to send you stuff, right? So if there's a giveaway that's arranged by the game, they just let us YouTubers do it. But if the game hasn't arranged for a giveaway, we can't just give items out anytime we want. Ah, crap. What did I just... Oh, I see what I did. How did I do that? I'm not sure. I just don't know. I opened a weird web page. Alright, so he said not many people are playing the Shenlao because they can't afford it. I don't know. There's so many players in Champion League that spend a lot of money to get those things. And there's a lot of big spenders in this game. And even those guys, a lot of the people who have it have already decided they don't really like it. Now, I know there's a lot of players that can't afford it, but a lot of the guys who do have it just aren't into it, I've noticed. Edward says, the Shenlao seems like a fun bot to play. It's definitely fun. It's fun. It's enjoyable. But it's not going to... I don't know what would happen if you had like 5 of them on the battlefield at the same time. That might be a little bit different. But if there's just one Shenlao on the battlefield, like I'm saying, it's really hit and miss as to how well it does. You're going to have some good games with it, and you're going to have some really bad games with it, but I don't have a lot of in between. Either it does awesome, or it gets destroyed instantly. It's kind of a hard robot to play, I think. I think it definitely takes a lot of skill to play that little bot and keep it alive. Missy Scott says, I'm back. What do you think of the Typhon? Alright, Missy Scott, I just made a video on the Typhon a couple of days ago you might want to go look at. It's a good robot if you have longer range weapons on it. It's very fun to play, but it does die easy. Now, if you play it as a longer range support bot with 500 or 600 meter weapons on it, I think it can be a really good robot, but you do have to play it really carefully. So there's a lot of skill into playing that currently. Now, one thing I do like on a Typhon, which kind of helps him out, is beefing up his shield. Maybe some fortifiers could help him out, but it's a really good robot, really good firepower, but it does die easy. Andrew says, this music is from your original live streams. Yeah, maybe. I downloaded a whole bunch of music from the YouTube library, so I still got like, I don't know, I probably got like 20 hours. I probably have like 20 hours worth of music, so I just put the playlist on shuffle. MD says, will it be good? What is it? I'm not really sure what you're referring to there. Pro World, what's up, buddy? Nice to see ya. Ah, MD's building decays to make a decay crisis. That's what you're asking about. Yeah, decay crisis will be nice. I mean, crisis is very hard to keep alive. It's very squishy, but that's going to hit really hard. That'll be scary. Kron says, I agree, Danny. I use one fortifier on the Typhon. I was kind of thinking about, running 2 fortifiers, honestly. Another thing that really helps the Typhon out is running a last stand. Last stand and fortifiers are good on the Typhon. You want to beef that shield up. Okay, so how will that perform in Champion League? If you get good at playing that, it will be a good sniper-ish type of robot. I mean, you might be able to take a lot of stuff out quickly. The thing is, once that robot comes out of stealth, if somebody shoots at it once, it's going to go down really fast. So you need to learn to stay back and learn to use cover and know when to go into stealth and when not to go out of stealth with that robot. So it'll still do really, really good if sniping or long range fighting is your thing. That can be an excellent build if you learn to play it. I just think it takes some time and skill to learn how to play that thing. I mean, originally people are running it with weapons that will shoot you and kill you from all the way across the map so they can stay as far away as possible. If you start playing the Crisis where you're getting closer to the enemies, it gets harder to do well with it. But you can do really, really well with it. But it takes a little more skill, I guess. Now, one thing I do kind of like on the Crisis is the Reviver drone. That way, if you die, it'll bring you back to life really quick. So I think a Reviver drone is a really good thing for a Crisis. But I think if you have the Showdown drone or the Reviver, either one can be really, really good on there, or the Shy can be really good on there. So those would be my 3 drone choices. Missy Scott thinks she has a meatball. I wish I had some meatballs right now. That sounds yummy. Gimme meatballs. Kristen, how's it going? Says Adrian runs a Crisis Decay. Yeah, I mean, those weapons hit really hard. They're awesome. 4 of those things would be brutal. MD says, I don't have a good drone or modules. Alright, so here's one thing about modules. I mean, modules aren't that hard to get. But modules are very important. The thing is, a module is movable, right? You dump your resources into a module versus dumping your resources into a robot. Once you put those resources into a robot, well, you upgraded that robot, but once you change to a new robot, you can't take those resources back, right? But the resources you put into a module, you can take that off of one robot and move it on to the next. So those are always usable. Like you don't really lose resources when upgrading modules, if that makes sense. So that's like movable damage and movable durability that you can use on any one of your robots. So at some point, you're really going to want to try and like get a couple of nice modules and level them up. Mech, I don't quite follow. Mech says, if I remember correctly, you and a couple of other content creators banned the Newton from your channels, right? I've never really banned the Newton, but I don't really play the Newton because I think it's kind of a no-skill turd bot. I just don't play it because it's boring, it's lame, it's just kind of a lame robot, honestly. I mean, there are times where I might throw it in, but not that often. I'd rather play something that's actually like fun or good. You know what I mean? Nightcrawler, what's up, man? How you doing today? Alright, so Christian says, on free-to-play, what would you build? Are you talking about robots or weapons or what? I did make a video recently, probably about a month or two ago, about my favorite robots that you can build in the workshop, and I think I did one on weapons as well. But it kind of depends on which robot as far as which weapons, right? Not all weapons are right for all robots. Let's just say you had like one robot and 3 really good sets of weapons. Well, I can't guarantee all 3 of those sets of weapons would be the right choice for the robot. But I mean, I think Invader and Fenrir are pretty much 2 of the robots everybody should build out of the workshop. I think everybody should have a Fenrir. Fenrir is kind of like everybody's favorite old school tank, but you do need to get a Bernadette Wolf pilot or that new Liesel pilot or whatever to put on there. If you don't have the right pilot on Fenrir, it sucks, but with the right pilot, it's actually really, really good. Now, if you got some skills, the Ravena is a really awesome robot to build. Skyros can be a really good robot to build for getting beacons and stuff. There's quite a few really good robots in the workshop, but it also depends on what fits your playing style and all that, what game mode you're playing and stuff like that too. Harpy is really good in there. I think Harpy is really awesome. MD says, I'm going to stop upgrading the Ophi and upgrade my Reapers. Alright, so here's one thing about Reapers, right? They did nerf the reload time on the Reaper, so the Reaper has a really long reload time at the moment. So that's something you want to think about. You can do huge damage per shot from a distance, but then you got to sit there and let it reload for 12 or 14 seconds or whatever it is. So, hey Ned, how's it going, buddy? Did the corrosive weapons get a buff this time around? No, I don't think that they did. I don't believe so. They did buff the radiation weapons, though. Nightcrawler says a Mugi's great against the Crisis. I still need to get out my Mugi and try it again, because it's been a long time since I played that little guy. Kron says Raven with the Nessa rigs. Now, the thing about Raven is it's not easy to play. Raven is excellent if you play it correctly, but it's kind of hard to play. Bex says at max amps, my Reaper Crisis is doing 400,000 per salvo. That's pretty crazy. That's insane. Yeah, you know, the balance did, I mean, the reload, oh my god. The nerf on the reload on hold on. I'm trying to get this out. Alright, when they nerfed the reload on the Reapers, that kind of did balance the weapon. There we go. Now I got it. That did make it more balanced. It was way too powerful. Richie Rich, what do you mean by curry losses are dropping your battle stats? I don't know what you mean by curry losses. XR Best, hey. Alright, so XR Best, that's on the test server, right? He's asking about the new Bedwetter Titan. Bedwire, whatever. I'm just going to call it the Bedwetter. But, I mean, we've only got to play this a couple times on the test server, so we don't really know much about that or how to play against it yet. You don't really get to see what something's fully like until it actually goes live and you get to play it on the live server. I mean, so far there's been like one test server session with that on there, and I would assume they're going to be changing the stats around from the first one to the next one to the next one. So things are definitely going to change on that Titan. I think the counter is if you're behind it or beside it, when it puts up that shield, you're still going to be able to beat it up, right? When it puts up that shield, if you're in front of it, I guess your goal is to get the cover so it can't shoot you, or somehow get behind it or beside it so you can bypass the shield. Now, I'm not 100% sure if Shield Breaker is going to break that shield. Rumor has it Shield Breaker might not work, but we're not sure. So it's gonna take some playing around with and getting used to, and playing against it for a while once it goes live to figure out exactly what counters it, if anything. But now, like somebody was asking earlier, if you have a flying bot, you can get up above it and shoot down, and that might actually be a really good way to bypass that shield when it puts it up. Nightcrawler says, Amugi is small and great around hilly areas and peaks. Yeah, Amugi was pretty good last couple times I played it. I don't know why I haven't played it in a while, because I really did enjoy it there. I think what happened is eventually people stopped using the teleport on the Amugi. I don't know why. Oh, you're losing the Curries. Yeah, unfortunately. So, Richie Rich, one thing about this game that I'm not sure if you know how it works or whatever, but the way they've always done things is something new comes out. There's always going to be one item that's really overpowered in the game. And eventually they nerf it, they rebalance it, they tone it down, and then something new comes out that's ridiculously overpowered. So there's always going to be something in the game that's really overpowered. Right now, I think it's the Curry and the Ochikochi. And those can be very hard to deal with. But yeah, I mean, if you don't have them, you're definitely at a disadvantage. But, you also got to worry about your performance and your teammates as well. Like, it takes all 6 players on a team to do well. Like, one guy, you could be like the best of the best and have the best hanger ever, but if the other 5 players on your team don't do well, more than likely you're going to lose. So you're kind of at the mercy of the matchmaking there. There's a lot of variables as to which team wins and which team loses. Just because you don't have the newest stuff doesn't mean you're going to do bad, right? You might get put on a really good team, or you might get put on a really bad team. That's really what's going to determine who wins or loses, unfortunately. But of course, if you have the newer stuff, you're definitely going to have better odds. But if you've got good stuff that's older and you play it correctly, you can play against pretty much anything. But I do know what you mean by, just like when I go into squad gameplay with my clan, like, we go up against a lot of these other clans that will have a hangar full of nothing but the best of the best. That is hard to deal with. That is really hard to deal with. And, if we've each got 1 or 2 Ochikochis and they've got 6 each, we're done. We're not going to stand a chance. So it's just kind of hit and miss, I guess. The games are hit and miss on this thing. You just kind of take that stuff with a grain of salt, right? So Nad got some Venoms. I mean, Venoms are good. Don't get me wrong. They're good weapons, right? On the right robot, they can do pretty well. I think they work best on tanks. I don't think they're bad weapons. Kristen says you can also use gold to buy. Yeah, some weapons you can buy with gold, but I'm not really sure what all is or isn't available with gold at the moment, but just make sure if you buy something, make sure you're getting weapons that are good. Don't buy something just because you can get it. Make sure that weapon you're buying is going to perform well in the higher leagues. Because, I mean, this is a major game tip, right? If you're down there in the lower leagues or you're just starting out, you don't want to put too many resources into things that aren't going to perform well as you move up. Because eventually you're going to move up. And you want to put resources into things that are still going to do well as you slowly move up in leagues. If you outgrow it and you dump a whole bunch of resources into it, that's not a good thing. So just make sure whatever you buy or build is something you think you're going to be able to play once you move up. Mex says, I have another question. Do you think the Silver Rush event will ever end? Are you talking about how they rebalance the pricing on the upgrades? I have a weird feeling that's permanent. So if you're talking about the pricing, I don't think it's ever going to end, honestly. I think we're stuck with that pricing. All right, so Kristen says, how do I get on the test server? All right, so you just have to download it just like you would any other app. So you can go to where you get your apps. You can go to the Google Play Store or the iOS App Store or whatever, and just search War Robots Test. There's an app called War Robots Test. Now, sometimes they do have it private to where you need a link for some weird reason. Sometimes it's searchable and you can find it. Other times they make you have a link. So if you search for it and you can't find it, just do a Google search for War Robots Test Server Facebook. And find the official Facebook page for the War Robots Test Server. And normally there will be a link on there to where you can download the test server app. Bottom line is it's just a separate app, right? It's just a separate app. You just have to either search for it or find the link to get it, one or the other, depending on how they currently have it set up. XR, are you talking about what doesn't take gray damage? I'm not sure what you're referring to there. Naz says, I'm getting sick of the Skyros running rampant, getting all the beacons. Bedwetter. What? Oh, man. He'll just wet the bed. He's just going to wet the bed. But yeah, I mean, just about everything takes grade damage. I mean, there might be some modules or pilot skills or this or that which allow you to take less grade damage, but everything does take grade damage from everything. Unless it's like part of the ability or part of a module or some sort of skill or something it's got running. Now, when it comes to Titans, if you're running the damage controllers, you do take less grade damage. And I think the repair amplifiers can make so you can heal up some of the grade damage. And I don't know, there's just all kinds of weird stuff that works together on this game. Alright, so what weapons should you use on the Fenrir? I'm not really sure what you have available, but right now, I mean, I think the radiation weapons, like the Blights, those are really, really good setups on there. Some people really like the sonic weapons, but I think that's a little bit too close of a range. The cudgels and hammers are a really good setup. Redeemer and Pulsar is a really good setup. The Subduer and it's matching lighter, it's matching medium weapons. Those do really well. There's a lot of really good setups for him. Quarker Nucleon, that would be a good setup. I'm sorry, Atomizer Nucleon, that would be a really good setup. If you happen to have any of the Ultimate Avengers or Punisher Tees, like the Ultimate version of those is crazy. The Ultimate Shotguns on there are crazy. I mean, those are some suggestions. I don't really know what you have available, but... Hey, Venus, how's it going? I'm doing all right. Hope you're doing awesome. Thanks for stopping by. Nightcrawler says, overcast and 45 Fahrenheit. It is 35 Fahrenheit here, which isn't too terribly bad. I don't really mind it when it's in the 40s and the 50s, but once it starts getting down into the 30s, that's a little chilly. I don't like it. Edward says, I hate that Silver Rush event. I don't necessarily hate it, but I would kind of prefer if they would set the pricing back to the way it was. Honestly, I think I would rather it go back to the way it was. Nightcrawler says, I no longer play against full teams as a solar player. How would you avoid that, Nightcrawler? Have you found a way to avoid that? Max says, Skyros is no match for my Crisis. Oh yeah, the Crisis will eat a Skyros. That's for sure. Missy says, I die way too fast. Missy, sounds like you need a bigger bot. You need a bigger bot. I don't know. What was it? Was that Jaws where they said you need a bigger boat? I can't really remember, but need a bigger boat. Okay. That was from some kind of movie. You need a bigger boat. Does anybody know what that was from? Because I can't remember. I do not remember at all. I got a terrible memory. Missy Scott says, yes, it was Jaws. Good. At least I can remember a little bit. That's for sure. Weird. I'm looking at something on Discord. Discord's a pain in the butt. Nad says, for the Fenrir, I've been using Bersant and Labras. Yeah, you know, that's a good setup. Don't like that they've been nerfed. Which one was nerfed, Nad? Bersants are really good. Labras are both. Yeah, those shotguns and those grenade launchers are both good weapons. I don't remember them being nerfed. Were they on the list of nerfs? Let me look at the list of nerfs again really quick. Oh, here we go. Weapons. Splinters. Okay, so they haven't been nerfed yet, but they're going to be nerfed. That sucks, actually. So the Splinter, the Shatter, and the Bersant are all getting nerfed. They're going to get 25% less damage, a longer reload, and less range, I guess. No, they're going to get more range. They're going to go up to 600 meter range. Yeah, that's going to be a lot less damage per second. Oh yeah, they're nerfing the grenade launchers as well. Man. That's rough, actually. That's rough. Edward says, time to go back to BSGs. BSGs. I don't know what that is. But saggy guns. Big Big soggy. I can't think of anything. I don't know. Oh, blast shotguns. Okay. I'm not good with abbreviations. So I can even make up a funny abbreviation. I suck at that. Rusebot, say hey, what's up, buddy? Nice to see ya. Pixlenico. Pixel. I'll just call you Pix. I don't know how to say that. He says, then they nerf bags, then what? I'm not sure what you're saying there, bud. I'm sorry. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, they're always going to nerf things. It's the one thing I hate about the game is they nerf a lot of stuff. I wish they didn't nerf all this stuff. There's always nerfing something. And I don't like it so much. But it is what it is. Nightcrawler says, I know you don't like quitters, but losing games in less than 2 minutes isn't a game anymore. No, I mean, losing games like that's never fun, but when you join a squad, you know, and you leave, you're kind of leaving 5 other players stranded. And that kind of sucks. And you also risk of going down to LPQ, where LPQ is a terrible place to be. If you leave too much, you will end up in LPQ, and you really don't want to be down there. Once you get into LPQ, the wait times are really long, and you can't choose your game mode or anything. It's not a good place to be. Pick says, whales just move on to the next thing. Yes, they do. The people who have more money than they know what to do with, they don't care if stuff gets nerfed. They just buy the next thing, and they're like, hey, look what I got. Those of us who can't afford to spend all that money, it sucks when they nerf our stuff, you know. Alright, so there is a fix coming for the targeting system. You're actually going to have some different choices. I'm not sure why it hasn't gone live yet, but you're going to be able to choose to target the closest target, the target that your crosshairs are pointing at. You're going to be able to target the guy with the lowest health. You're actually going to go into the settings and get to choose what you want the targeting system to target, which is going to be pretty interesting. So, what do you mean by champion league players on the lower leagues? What league are we talking about here? Because champion league players should never be going up against lower league players. So if you're in champion, you should see masters and champion players, right? But if you're in champion, the only time you should ever see somebody who's lower than masters is if that person was in a squad with higher league players. Champion League should never be down with like expert or diamond or silver. I mean, that's not supposed to happen ever. There's the weird occasional time where it does, but you should never see Champion League players matched up against anybody lower than Masters. But, you know, whatever league you're in, you might see players one league above you or one league below you, but you're never supposed to see anything other than that, if that makes sense. I have seen the random glitch every once in a while where I see an expert or a diamond player. It doesn't make sense why they got in there. But I mean, I see that like once a month. You know what I mean? I might see that one out of every couple hundred games, so. Jamil says, when you bot out, when you're out of robots and you leave the battle, do you get penalized? No. If all your robots have died, you do not get penalized for leaving the battle. Now, Nightcrawler, I will say, no, I don't know if they penalize you for this, but I know if you leave in the first 30 seconds of the game, it will replace you with another player. And I'm not sure if you get penalized for that. I'm assuming you do. But if you leave after 30 seconds, they don't replace you and that team's down a player. So that's something to think about if you're going to be leaving games. If you're going to leave, do it right away. Do it before 30 seconds. If it's over 30 seconds, please don't leave the battles, because then you're abandoning another team of players who are going to have a bad time because they were down a player. What's the most views I get on a stream? I don't know. I mean, I usually have somewhere between like 40 and 60 people on at one time, I would say, during a live stream. But people still watch, like people later in the day watch the streams. So I don't know, 1,000, 2,000 views sometimes after a few days. But I would say I probably get about a total of 400 views, 300, 400 views during the stream. Most people come and stay between like 8 and 10 minutes and leave, is what YouTube says. So it's just kind of like people in and out, in and out, in and out during the live streams. Nightcrawler says, not my first rodeo in Tankers League, Danny. Oh, Beacon Rush. I'm like, what the hell is play button rush? It sucks being dyslexic. I totally read things so wrong sometimes. I'm like, what's he talking about? Play button rush. I'm like, what? What is the play button rush? Here it says play beacon rush. Dyslexia. You are weird sometimes, man. Yes. Sometimes I just can't read. Oh, man. All right. So the boy says, opinion on Oxminos with Vajras. I like it. Now, I'm not sure if you've already got a Minos, but Minos is hard to play. Minos takes a little bit more skill to play than some other Titans, but if you learn how to play it and know how to time the abilities, like when you should use them, when you shouldn't use them, when to use the ability to run away and escape, if you play the Minos right, it is very good. It is very, very good, but it's hard to play. But I think the Maha and the Mahavajra type of weapons, or the Veyron Avora type of weapons, either one can do really good on the Minos. So I think if you got that and you take the time to learn how to play it and you level it up enough and everything, I think that's currently an excellent setup. Nightcrawler says, weird is my middle name. Dude, I'd be mad at my parents if they named me Weird. I would kick their butts. I would be like, why would you do such a thing to me? Why would you do such a thing to me? Oh my gosh, it's terrible. No, I don't ever really leave battles. There's been a time or two that I've left the battle. I mean, there's certain clans that we're pretty sure are hacking clans, right? Sometimes if we go up against one of those clans a few times in a row, it's like, all right, let's just leave because... But generally, it's very rare that I leave a battle. I have done it. I've done it once or twice. It doesn't happen very often, but there's only about 2 or 3 clans in the game when I go against them. You're just like, oh no, these guys. But yeah, there's a couple of them out there where they almost have to be hacking. I'm not going to mention any names just because we don't know for sure if they are or not, but it sure as heck feels like they are. I remember there was this one clan we used to go against, and like we fought them on the castle map. So we dropped in. We saw those guys again, like after they just destroyed us in less than 2 minutes. After the third time we got them in a row, we just dropped in on the castle map, and then we all jumped our robots into the water. And that ended the game. But yeah. But yeah, I mean, there's certain people where every time you go up against them, you could have like 6 people shooting one guy, and for some reason they won't die. And they'll pretty much one-shot kill you, but you can't kill them, right? It's kind of weird. But no, I mean, generally, I'm very against leaving games and stuff like that. I mean, there's a time and a place for everything, but... Oh, what's that? It's not something I would want to make a habit of. Like, occasionally I get it, but... A Star, what's up? How you doing? He says, this Fenrir build is weak. Are those weapons maxed out? I'm not sure what the Fenrir build even is. If you're talking about the current game that's playing, this is just some old footage from who knows when ago. This isn't live gameplay during the question and answers. Nad says, don't you get resources for swimming? I don't think so. I'm not sure. This game footage could be like 6 months old or a year old. I'm not really sure how old this is. Pick says, the damage is crazy nowadays. Yeah, damage is crazy nowadays. People's damage isn't normally what I question, but it's the guys that you can't take out. I mean, sometimes you'll have three titans shooting at one regular robot, and you can't even really seem to do anything to that one regular robot when 3 titans are shooting at it. That can't be right. That can't be right when that happens. There's no way 3 titans, 3 maxed out titans with maxed out weapons aren't able to take out a regular robot. You know what I'm saying? Nightcrawler says, what drone do you use with Crisis? Alright, so I think the best 3 choices is, number 1 would be the Showdown drone. That's a really, really good deal. Number 2, I would think about trying the Reviver. The Reviver works pretty well to bring you back to life. Or the Shy drone. Those are my 3 choices for him. I think if you have the Showdown, that should probably be your first choice. And between the Reviver or the other one, I'm not really sure which one would be better, but I think Showdown is going to be the best choice. Pick says, I feel like people think I'm cheating in my Luchador. They probably do. I mean, Luchador, if you build it right and you get your repair amps charged up, it can be almost impossible to kill. So there's probably a lot of people that think you're cheating in a Luchador once you get it fully charged up. It can be almost impossible to take out on some games. There's a lot of luchadors I come across, and I'm like, it sure feels like that guy's cheating, but then again, I actually know how tough they can be, so sometimes you don't know if they are or not. But if you have 2 or 3 Titan repair amplifiers on a Titan nowadays and you get those amplifiers charged, man, it can be very, very hard to kill those Titans. Nightcrawler doesn't have any of those drones. Here's the problem with the beak, right? You gotta take a pretty significant chunk of damage before the beak comes on. So you're probably gonna be hitting last stand or dying right about the same. I don't know. The beak might work, but the problem is you gotta take a huge amount of damage, and that robot's not very durable. So I don't think the beak's gonna be an excellent choice. You might get it to trigger like one time during the robot's lifespan, I would guess. It would work, you know, if you have it, go for it. But it's definitely not going to be a good choice for a really squishy robot like that. Hey, Jamil, he says, they ought to reduce the rust duration to 6 seconds. I think they should just reduce it to nothing. No more rust damage. That's what I say. All right, so he says this. Hunker, what's up, man? How are you doing today? The boy says, Pascal or Armadillo drone? On most robots, I would rather run the Pascal. I guess it depends on the robots, but 90% of the time I would pick the Pascal over the Armadillo. There's a couple robots I might put the Armadillo on, but not too many. Hunker, how you doing today, buddy? Hope you're doing good. You're enjoying the new robot in FFA. Yeah, that little thing's a beast in FFA. We were talking about that earlier, though. I'm not really sure if the new Shen Lao is going to end up being meta or not, because a lot of people don't like it. I notice it's kind of hit and miss. Like, sometimes you do really good with it. Sometimes it gets its butt kicked really fast, so... But when you have a good game, with it, my God, you have a good game with it. When you have a bad game with it, my God, you have a bad game with it. I find there's not a lot of in between. You either go in there and you get destroyed instantly, or you destroy everything with that little guy most of the time. Pix, you think the Shenlil looks like a Strider? I don't know if it really looks like a Strider, but it's a scrawny little reptilian guy, man. Hunker says, the new weapons are great because you can kill stuff in stealth. That's one thing that is really cool about them, is if it's in stealth, who cares? You just keep shooting it. And you can actually shoot more than one person at a time with those too, so that is definitely a plus. But yeah, I'm kind of wondering, though. I don't expect it to be the next meta, but I could be wrong. I could be very, very wrong. Missy Scott says they should make it easier to upgrade robots and weapons. That would be very nice. I don't know if they're ever going to do such a thing, but... I will tell you, though, somehow, like, I'm really surprised, but... I haven't really upgraded much recently, and I gained a couple of billion silver over the last 2 months. I made a couple billion silver in 2 months. Now, that does include the resources I got from having the Operations Pass. So, between Operations Pass and just between Operations Pass in playing like normal, I made a couple of billion silver. I don't know if it was 2 billion or 3 billion, but I'm not sure how I did that. I'm guessing it must have been from all the free-for-all matches I was playing, because I've been playing a lot more free-for-alls than normal. But I do notice sometimes I can get between 1 and 6 million silver from doing good on a free-for-all. When I go play a regular battle, I'm lucky to get 1.2 or 1.3 million, but on a lot of those free-for-alls, I'm getting like 2 million, 3 million, 6 million. So honestly, I think if you do a lot of free-for-alls, you're going to earn a lot more silver if you're good at the free-for-alls, that is. Pix, I'm not really sure if that's permanent or not. He's talking about the silver rush, but we don't really know. Alright, so Red, please stop spamming. Red says they should make everything free. I don't think they're ever going to make anything free, but that would be cool. But you got to remember, these games are a business, so their goal is to make money. So they're not going to make stuff free. Hunker says 2 billion holding pinky to mouth. The boy says, what are good flyer robots? Currently, well, here's the problem. The Ophion is about to get a nerf. So we don't know how good the Ophion is going to be after they rebalance it. Right now, the Ophion is an excellent flyer robot, but maybe not for much longer. A Mugi's decent. A Mugi might be something you want to look at. I'm not really sure if you would like it or if it would fit your playing style. Is there anything else that's currently flying right now that's good? The one thing is, most flying bots, when they rebalance them, they drive them into the ground, so they're not that good anymore. But yeah, right now the Ophion is definitely the best flying bot, but there's a pretty good chance it might suck on the next rebalance update. So I don't know if I can recommend that anybody get or upgrade one of those at the moment. Edward says the Mugi is still decent. Pix just plays the test server, huh? Red says, what is the best skin? That's really personal preference right there. Best skin is whatever you think looks best, so we all like different things, so there's really no such thing as a best skin, in my opinion. Nightcrawler says the Mugis are very quick at getting beacons. Yeah, you know, I was thinking it would still be good if at least one player on your team ran their Mugi as a first spot, just flew over to the most important beacon, then everybody else could teleport over. I think if your team takes advantage of the Amugi's teleporting abilities, I think it's a big deal. But if your team doesn't really take advantage of it, it kind of sucks, I guess. I don't know. Jamil, I've thought about the same thing. Imagine if they had a subscription where it unlocked everything for you during your monthly subscription period. That might be kind of a cool deal, right? My guess is they would probably make less money doing that than selling you the data pads. You see what I'm saying? The really big spenders probably wouldn't buy thousands of dollars worth of data pads every update if they did something like that. So I don't think we're ever going to see that happen. I mean, basically everything they do on these mobile games is try to get money out of your wallet, right? That's the way most mobile games are. So they're not going to do stuff to give you a bunch of free or make it easy on you, because then the people who do spend the huge amount of money won't spend as... I mean, I'm just speculating, right? I'm not speaking for them. I'm just taking some educated guess type of things right here. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm just kind of... I notice what happens and how these things work, so... I'm just going off of my observations. How about that? That's a good way to put it. And you know, when you're a business, your goal is to make money, so I totally understand. I just wish there was a few things they would do a little differently. You know what I mean? Red Gotcha Princess says, I love your channel. Thanks. Glad you're enjoying it. That's awesome. But no, I think that would be cool. I mean, I think there's a lot of people who would be more than willing to pay like 20 or 30 bucks a month to have a subscription where it gave them access to everything. I think that would be awesome. I mean, if I really loved the game and I could afford it, I would have no problem paying like 20 or 30 bucks a month if I was gonna, you know, have some sort of like all access pass to everything in the game. That would be kind of cool. Jamel says, I've dealt with gambling in the while back, and Warbots feels similar. Yeah, the data pads are basically like little slot machines. That's kind of what it is. Kron says the Tron skin. Yeah, the Tron type of skins are really cool. Personally, I do like the skins that light up. I like things that light up. I always have, always will, I guess. Kron says the Seraph is playable, but you got to go in and out. Yeah, you know, the Seraph is hard to play. It's a decent flying robot right now. On a scale of 1 to 10, I would probably give it about a 6. It's not bad, but it's kind of mediocre. It's a little better than mediocre. If you're really good with it, you can do well. But once it lands, it dies very, very easily. So you basically need to figure out how to land where nobody's going to shoot you once you land. That's the key to doing well with the Seraph. But yeah, you do not want to get shot with that guy. When you're in the air, you're pretty tough. But as soon as you land, you're super squishy. And as we all know, being squishy is not ideal. We do not want to be squishy, do we? No. No squishy squishy. No squishy squishy. Edward says the Seraph needs to stay away from brawlers and stay in cover. Yep, definitely. Jamil says winning Ultimate Edition should also win you different Ultimate skins. The Ultimates all look the same. Yeah, but the Ultimates aren't really supposed to be something you're supposed to just get, right? It's kind of like a novelty bonus type of deal, I guess you would say. So they don't make it easy to get those. But I think they want them all to look the same and stand out, because they want you to know, like, hey, this guy's got the ultimate stuff. You know what I mean? They want to be like, hey, man, that guy's playing ultimate stuff over there. They want you to recognize it the second you see it. Pix I really want Ultimate Fenrir. I would like to have a bunch of those. I would like to have the Invader, the Fenrir, and the Ares, but on my personal account, I don't have any Ultimate robots or weapons. It would be nice to have them, but you know, it kind of is what it is, I guess. If you can get it, sweet. If you can't, you know, just do the best you can. That's how I look at it. I do what I can and try not to worry too much about the rest. It says, yeah, the Invader's glowing eyes look cool. Edward says, the Ultimates are for flexing. Kinda. I know what you're saying there. You're flexing with the Ultimates. The boy says, what is a good Aether setup? The only weapons I really ever liked on the Aether were the... what were those weapons called? I gotta open the game and look at the name of those weapons because I can't remember. Hold on a minute. Let me look these up. What other weapons that came out with him? Alright, I am opening the game and I'm gonna check this out. But for the most part, I didn't like any other weapons on him. Alright, game, hurry up and open, please. Thank you. Alright, still opening, still open. Oh yeah, Glaive and Lance. Mech, thank you, buddy. Glaive and Lance. That's what they were called. Those are by far my favorites. So those plus some Titan repair amplifiers, onslaught reactors, or balance units. Right? Those are all really good setups for your Titan. Like, if you can run 2 Titan repair amplifiers, that's awesome. Let me look at the module slots on this guy while I'm here. So you got Assault Universals. So you could either go with 2 onslaughts and 2 balance, or 2 onslaughts and 2 repairs. That's kind of how I would set mine up. I would probably go with the 2 repairs, honestly. Yeah, Ming is very hard to play. I'm not really sure who mentioned the Ming. Maybe I missed it, but Nightcrawler said the Ming is cannon fodder. Definitely. The Ming is very, very, very squishy. It's like the squishiest robot ever. You got to learn how to play that guy, and you got to keep your distance. Now, the problem with him is the Newton, right? The Newton will just wreck that Ming like it's nothing. Used to be you could keep a 600 meter range weapons on the Ming and just stay out of range. And then when you wanted to attack, you would just move in, fire off your shots, then move back out. And if you played it that way, you used to be able to do okay. But not so much anymore. Kind of sad, man. Ming was the king of the sky for a really long time. Now he's just kind of like okay, I guess you would say. Nightcrawler says, Ed, I own a Seraph and I enjoy running it when I can. I have a decent hangar set up at the moment, so I don't run it at the moment. I'm not very good at reading, as you can tell. I suck at reading, but, you know, it is what it is. I am not the world's best reader, I'll tell you that. Jamil says, with the Tonans nerf, the Aether could make a comeback. Oh yeah, bendy bullets on an Aether would probably be really good. I've never tried that, but that sounds interesting. That would be fun to try out. Oh man. That's something I really wouldn't mind trying, to tell you the truth. I could give that a go someday. Maybe on my next live stream I'll play the Aether. That would be fun. Only problem is, every time you go up in the air, Newton zaps you from 800 meters away and kills you. Nightcrawler says, Danny, I'm not very good at making sense with my posts. All thumbs, hee, just fill in the blanks. You're fine, man. I'm just dyslexic. I don't read well. I'm a very, very slow reader. Sometimes I have to read something simple a couple times before I make sense of it, so. I'll tell you one thing I would like to see added to the game is when you stand on a beacon, I think you should get honor points for standing on your beacons and defending your beacons. That's what they should really do, is give us honor points for defending beacons. That would be awesome, actually. The boy says, Ophion with glaive and lance. Wait a second. Ophion. I'm having a brain fart here. What is the Ophion? Oh my god. All of a sudden I'm drawing a blank on the Ophion. Oh yeah, that's not a Titan. You can't put glaive and lance on an Ophion. Alright, that's why I got confused. I'm like, what? What? Edward! Nightbot got you for posting too many thumbs ups. I could have swore I turned that off to where he wasn't supposed to do that. Busted. The only thing it's supposed to do is, like, stop people from cussing, and it doesn't do that, but yet it times somebody out for posting a couple of thumbs ups. You know what I mean? Nightbot's kind of weird. Like, if somebody says the F word, it's supposed to time them out. I don't know. One of the most recent streams, somebody dropped an F-bomb in the chat, and it didn't time them out for saying it. But it times out the guy that puts a couple thumbs ups in there. Good job, Nightbot. You know what I mean? Nightbot's broken. Nightbot's stupid. I hate you, Nightbot. You never do what I asked you to do, Nightbot. I don't know. It's kind of a weird deal. I'll have to I'm gonna have to log on to the Nightbot and double check the settings. Maybe I messed it up, or maybe I forgot to save something, but I just think Nightbot's a pain in the butt. I just think it's a big old pain in the butt. But it's okay. It's not Nightbot, it's Butt Pain Bot. That's his new nickname. Alright, we got about 10 more minutes left on the stream, so if you guys have any more questions, get them on in. We got about 10 more minutes, 10 more minutes, 10 more minutes. Get them questions on in. Alright, hold on. Okay. Edward says it's all good. Yeah, but I'm still going to have to beat up Nightbot for being a jerk. Getting people he shouldn't be getting, I'm telling you. Nightbot's a pain in my butt. Nightbot, you are a pain. You are a pain indeed, so... So, nobody's got any more questions? Oh. What's my thoughts on Eiffel with Glaive and Lance? I didn't like it. I'm trying to remember why I didn't like it. I tried it and I didn't like it. But I don't know why. But yeah, I don't know. It wasn't my cup of tea. It was not my cup of tea. I think I had a hard time hitting people or something, though, where the bendy bullets were shooting people around corners. It's definitely a good robot, though, I will say that. Definitely a nice robot. I do think there's probably a lot of people who would really enjoy that setup, even though it really wasn't for me. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people who would really like it, though. I mean, I did like it, but I just didn't love it. I found that the bendy bullets were much better. But, you know, you may feel differently about that. That's just how I felt about it. I didn't think it was bad. I mean, I did think it was good, but it wasn't as good. A hammer bot? What's a hammer bot? Pix, I don't know why it's called Nightbot, my friend. Whoever designed it said, hey, this is a Nightbot. But that's what they decided to call it, I suppose. They're just like, hey, Nightbot. Nightcrawler says, new name for Nightbot. The Banhammer bot. Yeah. He is a little bit like, let's get this guy crazy, I think. Nightbot's out to get you. No doubt about it. The Nightbot is after you. He's like, hi, I'm Nightbot. I am here to ruin your day. Midnight, hey, hey. Do I like the Discordia? Yes, I do like Discordia. Now, I think they work really, really good on the Eiffel. I don't like them on the Rook. I don't like them on the Luchador. It depends on which Titan you play them on. But I think if you get them on the right Titan, they do excellent. I mean, that's really the key, is finding the right Titan to put them on. You know, I wonder what they would be like on the Minos. That might be kind of fun. That might be super fun. Pick says Nightbot is on a power trip. Just about. Not quite, but sort of, right? Sort of. Alright, Mirror Mitch with bendies would probably be pretty cool too. Only problem, like I said, Mirror Mitch though, is he gets shot down out of the sky too easily. It's not hard to take out a Mirror Mitch these days, so he does kind of struggle, I guess. Midnight says, Tonans doesn't stop the Rook. Not unless you break his shield first. You have to break the shield. And, like, if the shield's down, those things will beat the crap out of the Rook. But, yeah. You need something to take out his shield first, is the main key to that. The shield on the Rook is very, very strong, and it's very, very hard to take down, so... EMR3, is that a mirror? Or EMR, I don't know. He says, should I buy the Mender with the legendary pilot and equip it with the atomizer quarkers? Alright, so Mender can be a very good robot if you know how to play it. You do need to have the Marie Leclerc pilot on the Mender, right? That allows him to heal up all the gray damage. Now, I think Mender is hard to play. It's not an easy robot to play, okay? It's not easy to do well with the Mender. In my opinion, it takes a little bit of skill to play him, and he's also a support bot. But I do think those weapons are nice weapons on any robot, so those would definitely work on the Mender. If you learn to play it good, I think he would be very, very fine. Very, very fine. You would do very, very well with it, but, you know, it just takes a little getting used to that robot. Amir says, I'm level 26. I think the only main issue with the Mender right now is the weapons like the Subduers that have the rust effect make so you're not able to heal. Mender's whole thing is healing. So that's the problem. That's the whole problem with the Mender, right? Right now, if you get hit with the rust weapons, you're not going to be able to heal. Once they nerf those weapons down a little bit and that effect's not stopping you from healing, I think the Mender is going to be really good again. I mean, Mender is a cool robot and all, but yeah, it's hard to play. EMR3. I read that wrong, didn't I? Hey. Oh, wow. Typical says, I want to marry my girlfriend and learn Russian. Well, you might want, I guess, ask your girlfriend. Who's your girlfriend? I don't know who your girlfriend is, but you know what? Ask her, you know, you got to propose if you want to marry her. I couldn't even imagine what it would be like to learn a second language, man. That would be so hard to learn another language. I don't know how people do it. Mech, what is the worst yellow Titan weapon? Is that a typo or is that actually what you meant to say? All right, Midnight. So splinters are about to be nerfed. Splinters are about to be nerfed. Tamers. Man. Midnight, I would say for right now, don't upgrade anything. Wait till the Splinter, Bursant, and whatever nerf happens. And see what those weapons are like afterwards. Ah, she lives in Russia and you're in the UK. So does she know your language? And thank you so much for the donations, bud. I mean, right now, the weapons like the Splinters are just brutal, but I'm not really sure how good they're going to be after the rebalance hits them, so... Yeah, that's a little... I don't want to give you advice on that right now, because that change could change the outcome in a couple of weeks. I mean, I would say, like, as of right now, I think those Splinters are just freaking amazing, but... they might be horrible in a month. So. Oh, so you already know Russian. Okay. So you're from Russia, but you moved over to the UK. It would have to be really insane to just like pick up and move to a different country. I couldn't even imagine how hard that would be. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it wouldn't be that bad, but it just seems like that would be a rough journey just to pick up and leave to a new country. I couldn't even imagine that. Sometimes I want to pick up and move to the moon or fly to Mars or somewhere. I don't want to live on this planet anymore, but yeah, it would be hard. That'd be hard to move like that. Kind of exciting, though. Now, I do remember I've moved a few times, but, you know, I've always stayed in my country. But I moved to a couple of different states 3 or 4 times, and that was scary. I couldn't imagine what it would be like just to pick up and go to a new country. Sometimes I'd love to just pick up and go somewhere new, but I don't know, some people have more kahunas than me when it comes to that type of thing. I should steal the moon and live there. You know, I'm not sure how I'm going to get there, though. That would be one problem. I don't know if I would be able to make it there. But I will say this, Midnight. So you were asking about the DOT weapons, right? They're actually pretty good. Like I would not want to run the DOT weapons by themselves. It might not be a bad thing to level up a couple of the DOT weapons and run them with other weapons. I mean, the DOT weapons are great for taking something down to no health and letting it die like 30 seconds later from the DOT. So I would say right now it would be a good idea to upgrade some of the DOT weapons. I mean, I would probably do, honestly, if you can, maybe upgrade like 2 lights and 2 mediums on the DOTs. And then just hold off on upgrading the shotguns until we see what happens. That's kind of how I think I would do it. Kron says, in radiation weapons, Jamel. Yeah, the radiation weapons are sweet. Alright, so Jamel says oldies are still best. Less likely to be nerfed. Pulsar, Magnetar, Redeemer, Sonics, Blast, Shotguns, etc. Nothing's ever safe of being nerfed, but yes, the older weapons are less likely to be nerfed. They're probably more likely to be buffed at some point in time. Now, one thing though, we did notice they buffed the glories, which were super old weapons. They were way too strong, and then they nerfed them again. So that kind of thing could happen again in the future, but oh, you meant tier 4. So the yellow weapons are tier 4. What's the worst tier 4 Titan weapons, he wants to know. That's an interesting question. Let me think about that for a minute. I mean, I guess the blindy weapons, like the lanterns, the dazzlers, I guess those are the worst. The blind part's really good, but they don't do a lot of damage these days. I'm not a big fan of those rocket weapons, like the Argons and the Oxys. Now, there may be some people out there that love them, but I don't like the really, really long reload. What do those have? Like, I think those have almost a 30-second reload time, which is terrible. I don't know. I mean, at least they're better than Retaliators and Vengeance, right? Those are like the absolute worst right there. But yeah, I do think if you're somebody who doesn't want to spend a lot of money or can't spend a lot of money on this game, I think your best bet is finding older robots and older weapons and playing those. Because, yeah, I mean, the older stuff is less likely to be rebalanced. But the only thing you do got to keep in mind, though, all right, the newer stuff that's coming out is getting crazier and crazier and crazier. So there's going to be a point where the new stuff is getting so crazy. After enough of the new stuff comes out, eventually the old stuff is going to be so outdated. It might be another couple years before that happens, but I have a feeling that the new stuff is just going to get crazier and crazier until something like your Fenrir is just going to kind of be like, well, I don't know if he's really worth playing these days. You know what I mean, guys? You know, you know what I mean? You probably do, but right now though, there's plenty of old stuff that's actually really good, so I just do wonder like how long that old stuff is going to be good. Oh yeah, Ravana's really awesome actually. Ravana's an awesome robot. I mean, eventually it'll probably be out of date, but as of right now, I mean, that robot is old, it's outdated. It's not that good, but it is that good at the same time. It takes the right person to play that robot, you know what I mean? It takes the right person to play a Ravana, but in the right hands, it's a beast. Oh, I get the yawn. Ugh. It's really hard to play. Do I think Aether could use a hit point buff? I mean, I don't necessarily know if he needs a hit point buff, but I wouldn't complain if they gave him one. All I know is the Fulgur and the Tonins destroy him. I'm not sure how he does against like bendy machine guns or anything like that, but I just know the Tonins and the Fulgurs simply just eat him into little teeny tiny pieces. I haven't played him enough lately to know how he's doing against regular weapons, but if they gave him a hit point buff, honestly, I would be pretty happy about that, because I'm guessing that would make him a little bit more playable if they did give him a hit point buff. I think that would be nice. I just don't think they're going to do it anytime soon, but if they did, I think that would be cool. I would love to see them balance some of the older stuff, you know what I mean? That would be awesome. Nightcrawler says, I run Ravana. I enjoy playing it personally. It's good, man. If you know how to play it, it's good. Ravana will knock your socks off if you know what you're doing with it. So, yeah. I like it. I like it a lot. It's all about ability timing. That's the thing. A lot of people suck at ability timing. I'm not great at ability timing myself, but, you know, it's one of those deals where I think if you get a Ravana and you play it enough, you'll eventually get the hang of it. But I think the only reason we don't see more people playing it is it takes a little skill to play that robot. And right now, all the rage are the no-skill robots that are really easy to play. Everybody wants to play the no-skill stuff right now. I don't know why, but I mean, everybody's like, hey, let's go play this crappy bot that's really easy, and then we don't have to have any skill or anything to play this. It's like, man, come on. I don't know. I don't know, but that's just kind of how it feels these days. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I actually like the robots that take a little skill better because they're more fun to play. It's more challenging. It's just not like let's press a button and it's going to obliterate everything on the battlefield. Do you know what I mean? Skill bots are way more fun to play. I wish more people would play the skill bots. But, you know, whatever. To each their own. People are going to play whatever they feel like playing, so. It is what it is, I guess. It is what it is. I miss the old days where it was just robots with basic abilities and weapons, and basically you won out of skill. You didn't win because you had an Ochi Kochi that runs everything over and it can't die when you use the ability. You know what I'm saying? That was the thing with that, man. You couldn't kill it. It's just ridiculous, man. Just ridiculous. Oh, well. All right, everyone. I think that's pretty much going to be it for the stream. We're about 20 minutes over normal time, so I guess we're going to call it quits. I'm really tired today. I need more coffee. I feel like I'm going to fall asleep, which sucks because I'm going to have to... I'm going to get up, get in a little exercise, grab some lunch, and then I got to try and record some game footage. But I think I am going to put those brand new weapons on 5 of my favorite robots and see how they do on your average robot. And kind of do a review on the new weapons for tomorrow. I don't know if anybody's really done a full proper review letting players know how good those new weapons are or aren't yet, but I'm gonna make that video tomorrow, I think. Anyways, hope you all have an awesome day. Thank you for coming out to my stream. I really appreciate it. You guys are super awesome. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching my videos. Don't forget to smash that like button before you go. I would appreciate that big time. And yeah, thank you guys. Moderators, thank you. Channel members, thank you. I appreciate the extra support. Nightcrawler, I'm glad you liked the Q&A. Loki, hey bud, nice to see you, man. He says, thanks for your videos. Thanks for watching them. I appreciate it. I really do. All right, you guys have an awesome rest of your day, and I'll be back on Thursday with a gameplay stream and probably on Saturday. Yep. Catch you guys later. Thank you all so much. Lightning out. Have a great day. See ya.